episode of the Late Coffee Show, which is, I don't know which number it is, but I want to talk to you about a little thing about this quarantine time that a lot of people has the need to feel productive. And I want to say that it's okay not to be productive. Like today, I didn't really want to do this show, but since I already scheduled with my friend, I thought at least I'm gonna have time to have a little talk. And I wanted you guys don't push yourself too much. Don't feel obliged to do anything. Don't feel that you have to do something. Sometimes it's okay to just be in a couch, do nothing. I don't want you guys to feel guilty and stop looking into social media. Not everyone is happy. Don't worry about that. I was diagnosed with depression 10 years ago, and I deal with this every day. And during this time, it's okay to not sleep well, to go to bed late at night, and wake up all fuzzy. So I think it's important for us to just be alone by yourself. And for me, what it works is I talk to a friend, and that's basically what you're going to see today. Me talking with a friend and having some fun, and that's how I lift my spirit to go through the day. So, welcome again to the Late Coffee Show, and I hope you guys enjoyed this interview with a great friend of mine. Be safe. Hello, everyone. Today, my guest is a very special guy. You might know him.
Is that special as it goes to a special school?
Yes, exactly.
Special children. Good.
Special school. And he's always cheering the hell out of people at WBC. But if you don't know him, he's also one of the best coffee professionals I ever met in my life. Please welcome the second hottest red hair in the coffee industry, my friend, Stephen Leighton!
The second. I mean the second. No, Colin Harmon comes second. Dale Harris used to come
red
second.
Hair? Red hair? No. Red hair is cold. I'm sorry. Cold. So sorry.
No, I'm not going to buy it.
Well, at least now, he's the hot red hair.
I've got bits of grey in there now, so...
Yeah, don't worry. How's it going?
I'm good. It's strange times that we live in, and life's got very unusual for the past 7 weeks or so. But no, holding up well. Trying to remain positive and upbeat, and I hate it when I hear people say, we'll get through this, but it really is just to get through this. I'm looking forward to sunnier days where we can all meet up again. Kind of hit me this week that we were meant to be WBC in this week, and there was all the plans to go to Melbourne, and they'd asked me to MC again, so I was really excited.
And it will be important because Melbourne, I recall, because I was judging that final, was the debut of the red suit. That was amazing.
You see, everybody commented on the suit. I loved the red bowler hat more than the suit. I thought that was like the quintessential British thing to do, was to wear a bowler hat. And not many people saw it because I only had it at the beginning and the end, but I had an extendable red walking cane as well that you press the button and it shot out.
I didn't saw that.
Yeah, no, I had that too. I'd planned that outfit months and months before, like so much planning. And I hadn't told anybody because I knew if I told any of the WCE, they would have said
no, too much.
So they asked me if I wanted a lift because we were stopping in the same hotel at the morning of the finals. And I was like, no, I'm going to grab my own cab. It's okay. So literally I turned up and there was like an hour to go. And I'm like, what are you going to do? Send me home? So that's how I ended up getting away with that one. It got hard to beat after that. But that Melbourne was definitely a very special time. Apart from your friend Raoul breaking my iPad, which I still haven't forgiven him for.
Yeah, well, that's where I want to start it. Let's clear the air a little bit. We are both friends with Raul. If you don't know, Raul Rodas, world champion in 2012, blah, 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 from Guatemala. But since like you're his friend, I'm his friend, let's clear the air and talk shit about that asshole. How annoying is to send this guy a message and he takes forever to answer. But when he needs you, he constantly texts you all the fucking time.
Well, you see, this is what I've learned with Raul. What you do is you just don't respond to him. So basically, you don't respond to him and give it like 3-4 days and you respond, comes back straight away. And then if you text him and he doesn't come back, you just repeat and repeat. He always responds to my text now, like always. No. Like, how annoying is it, that Pepsi generation picture of him? Like, the Pepsi generation. He's the old man generation now, with pushing a pram down the streets and the Pepsi generation. So for those who don't know, Raul was part of a photo campaign by Pepsi to be part of the Pepsi generation for Guatemala. Guatemorphosis.
How about his hair, man? What happened? Like, changing all the time, so ugly.
You know, when you're that ugly, though, you try and take the attention away from the face. So if you keep moving the hair around, you don't know. No, we love him, really. He's a mutual friend, and I think I kind of known him since 2009 in Atlanta. And he's just always been somebody who I enjoyed the company of, and he is a good guy. And of course, we both went to his wedding in Guatemala as well, which we never allowed to talk about what happened. What happened in Guatemala City stays in Guatemala City.
Yeah, no, but again,
it was a wild wedding.
It was, I think, like, he's a very good friend of ours, and I think one of the reasons we came closer was because of him. For sure.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think we knew each other quite well before from WBC, but I definitely think that wedding was a breakthrough moment where we became more closer friends.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely, like, one of my favorite sports talk shit about him. So, and I know that some of your favorite sports.
It's so easy though.
So easy.
It's so easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. There's no sport in it at all. It's too easy. He'll love that we talked about him.
Oh my God.
Like, very few people remember it. Raul who? Oh, I know Alejandro. Salvador. But
so I interviewed him as well, and I asked him, how does he feel when people confuse him with Alejandro? You're going to love this show. So, not a lot of people know you, but how did you start in coffee? Brief of how Stephen started.
God, I mean, it's so long ago now. So I'm coming up to 20 years in coffee now, which I know from my boyish young looks, it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
But I was quite late joining coffee. So as a kid, I was always interested in coffee. We had a small coffee roasters in my local town in Wolverhampton. And I was obsessed with this thing that blew out smoke and fire. And I would choose our coffee for the week. Or it was normally the month, actually, because we didn't have so much money. And for my 7th birthday, I asked my mum for a filter coffee maker, which my mum's a little bit crazy, and did get me one. So it was only just like a hot plate glass bowl filter maker, but you know, this was in the dark ages when electricity had just been invented. So I was always interested in coffee. And then I got a job in a petrol station, working nights as a second job. And I got robbed from the petrol station.
What?
And yeah, like it was basically somebody came in and pretended they'd got a gun, and I was just like, yeah, take the money, it's not mine, it's fine. And the police came to fill out the report and everything. And I said, oh, do you want a coffee? And I kind of made them a coffee, and I'd still been buying like freshly roasted coffee. I'd got a little hand grinder, which wasn't great, but it was okay. And these police were like, oh, this is amazing. And they're like, after that, every night they would come back and have a coffee with me, which meant nobody robbed me. So I suddenly started to think that there was something in coffee, that it was kind of good to make new friendships. So then I had a market stall while I was still working as a prison officer. So yeah, I used to be a prison officer.
Yeah, not everybody.
Um,
I know
Not
that.
everybody knows that. I know. I just
Now everybody knows.
But I had a market stall selling coffee beans. So, a very small selection of probably 560 different origins. Nothing fantastic, because at the time there wasn't anything fantastic. But I'd got like a Chinese coffee. I remember China Beauchemin, a Colombian called La Manuela from a single estate. I've got a Kenya. I can't remember the name of the cooperative of the Kenya. I had a Brazil Santos, living it high.
Woo! Living the dream.
But then I decided that I wanted to have a coffee shop. So in 2000, I opened the coffee shop. So I had the market stall in 1999, opened the coffee shop in 2000, hated a coffee shop because customers used to come and ruin it. But then started roasting in the back of my garage for the coffee shop, and was just starting to play and get into it. And I decided that I saw this internet thing going on, and I was going to build a website. So one of my customers that came in the cafe, a 16-year-old called Peter Stevenson, who I'm still friends with, he built me my first website while being paid with mochas. So basically I would make him a mocha, so espresso and hot chocolate, and I'd drink that, make my website. And and that's kind of how Has Been really started. From that website, things kind of grew, and lots of other things happened after that.
And nowadays, explain a little bit of what you've been doing.
So 18 months ago, 2 years ago, I was approached by a New Zealand company called Ozone, which has 2 cafes in New Zealand and 2 cafes in London now. If we wanted to join forces together. So it gave me an opportunity to take some of the money out of my hard work, but also work in a more collaborative team. So Has Been is now part of Ozone, and I'm still one of the majority shareholders, but I am in charge of sourcing coffee for the entire group, which kind of
Makes
doubled the amount of coffee that I was buying, which was exciting to me, because that's what I am. I'm a green buyer. I'm not a barista. I like to still think I'm a roaster, and I think I'm pretty good at that, but I think I'm better at the green sourcing side. I'm also partnering 3FE Coffee, which is based in Dublin in Ireland, with Colin Harmon. And Colin lets me source the coffee for him at 3FE. Doesn't let me do anything else. He keeps me well away because he's smart. And that's why that's such a successful and strong business. But we have 5 cafes in Dublin and a roastery, which is fantastic. And then my latest investment, if you like, investment in life and in everything else, is I'm a partner in Drop Coffee in Stockholm in Sweden, which is a cafe in the Solderman district of Stockholm. And we have a roastery just on the edges of town with my partner and fiance, Joanna Allen, who I got engaged to 2 days before I got locked down and wasn't allowed to see her anymore.
Well, actually, that's one of the things that one of the questions that I have next for you. Like, you and I are in relationships that started in coffee.
Mm-hmm.
How did yours started?
Oh, I don't know whether Joanna will let me tell this story.
Ooh.
But I'm going to do it anyway, because she's told enough people now that it's kind of out there. So we were business partners long before we were partners. So I bought into Drop in 2015, in the summer of 2015. And we'd been getting on really well. Like, her ex-business partner had decided to move to Norway to become CEO of Kappa. And there was an opportunity for me to invest. And I really liked Stockholm, and I really loved the brand of Drop. So we were working together, and we had a really great working relationship. We were really good friends as well as business partners. It was like just a really supportive friendship. I was going through a fairly difficult breakup. She'd been going through a fairly difficult breakup. We had a lot in common, but there was nothing, romantic in any way. And then 3 days before Christmas, I was getting off an aeroplane in Dublin, and I got a phone call from somebody from Nordic Approach. Joanna was on a buying trip in Ethiopia, And I got this phone call come through, Joanna's sick. And I'm like, yeah, she gets sick. She's like that. You know, she can get sick. And I was like, she'll probably be thinking it's worse than it is because a little bit of a hypochondriac. Now I am in trouble. No, she's really sick. We think it's either typhoid fever or malaria. She's in an ambulance rushing towards Addis. So I was on a bus from the plane to the airport terminal to go to 3FE's Christmas party. I went out, I saw Colin, and I said, I've got to go. And he's like, oh, okay, bye. Went back, went to Ethiopian Airlines. 12 hours later, I was in Addis Ababa with my laptop, my passport, no clothes because I was going for the day to Dublin. So I was coming back. I've got no toiletries. Slept on the floor of an Ethiopian hospital for a couple of nights. Managed to get her on a plane to get her home just on the 23rd. So Christmas in Sweden is the 24th. Dropped her off, went back to England. 24th, I had a flight to El Salvador where I was going to spend Christmas. And we just started talking. We just started talking on text, and we kind of realised that perhaps wasn't the actions of a business partner and probably somebody who cared a little more. And we've been working it ever since. So, it was kind of strange. You know, we knew each other way before we became business partners. Apparently we met in Melbourne. I don't remember this one. Joanna swears we met in Melbourne. I remember meeting in Seattle in 2014. Was Seattle? 2015. 2015. So I met her in Seattle, but I don't remember the bit before. But no, so yeah, that's how we ended up as a couple. And I'm probably going to get in lots of trouble for that. So thank you.
No, you're welcome. That's my goal here. So not a lot of people know as well, but you are a huge fan of football.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't have I normally have it on me. I have my season card. So I have a card that gets me into every game at Sunderland, which is, there used to be a Premier League. Now, we're all in lockdown, or lots of us are in lockdown, and we've watched everything on Netflix. If you haven't watched Sunderland Till I Die, there's season 1 and season 2. Go watch it. It's not just about football. You don't have to like football to watch it. It's very much about the anthropological side, so the whole, like, how people interact with each other. And you'll see why I'm so obsessed with the club. I have a tattoo here. Can't see it through the shirt, but it's there. I've got one on the back of my leg. My son also has one on the back of his leg. We got drunk in Mallorca and ended up both having tattoos, which is what a responsible parent does, right?
Yes, exactly.
Now he's also a season card holder, and yeah, I'm just obsessed with football. It's my one passion outside of coffee.
How much you hate when people call it soccer? Because I hate. Look,
I mean,
football was invented in England, and Brazil has the Portuguese as the mother language, and still we did not change the name. We just adapt for our vocal, and we call football. And you got
you see, the Americans, they call it American football, but actually it's rugby. We created that as well. They just made it a bit softer. Now, the problem with Americans is they took a perfectly serviceable language in English and ruined it. There was nothing wrong with it, and they had to take it apart and make it worse. And when I get corrected on soccer, I'm like, my language, my sport.
Well, plus, there's also the history side. Football, it's older than American football.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. No, it's listen. I feel sorry for them more than anything.
Me too.
But no, it does annoy me. It doesn't. I let a lot of things go. Garbage. I can let garbage go. Soda. And all the other chips instead of crisps, but I can't let soccer go. No,
soccer, no. Yeah, I just saw the ratings now is going down on United States, but it's okay. Did you ever want to play football?
I have a much better footballing brain than I do feet. I played 3 games at the Stadium of Light, which is where Sunderland play, which is
Wow.
a 50,000 seater stadium. I actually scored a goal there as well in a charity match, which I do have video footage of. I do get it out every now and again, and Joanna's just like, oh, again.
Can you really?
But the last game I played, I played with my son. So it was me and my son against a Sunderland home team against the Sunderland away team. And we both played up front. Probably the worst game of football I've ever had, but one of my happiest moments, I think, ever. And my son's 22, and we're much more mates than we are father-son. So we had a great time.
If you ever want to release this footage, I'll gladly put it in on this video.
I will try and dig it out for you and find it. It's on my phone somewhere, so let me have a look, and we'll see whether we can put it at the end. My celebration is great because I'm lifting my shirt up, pointing at the stand, going, "That's for you, Shay," which is my son's name. "That's for you." So yeah, it was a little bit of a. It's like I'd scored the World Cup goal, and really it was a charity match goal, but.
Yeah, but I think that's where Brazilians and British convert. That maybe 90% of the boys want to be a football player when they were growing up.
I had so much fun in 2014 during the World Cup in Brazil. I was in Belo Horizonte for the England-Costa Rica game, and oh my gosh, the Brazilian party there was. So they had like a fan zone for all the games that we hadn't got tickets for. And in fact, do you mind if I go off screen and fetch something? I've got to show you what I brought back. I still have it there.
Well, he's gone.
Come in.
You come back?
I don't know where it came from, but I found this in my hotel room when I woke up.
What? You have the cup?
Seriously, my room was trashed, and this was in my room, and I have no idea why.
Someone entered in the wrong room, and they were drunk, and they were partying. No?
Well, the problem with camera phones is that I had lots of photos, and basically I'd invited a whole bunch of strangers back to my hotel room to drink rum with me. So, kind of happens. But yeah, I've had this ever since then, and it just reminds me of that absolute wicked few days in Belo Horizonte.
In the World Cup of 2010, I was in London because it was my first time going to a WBC. So I remember to watch the pub, Brazil and Chile. That was 2-0 Brazil.
Nice. Well, the day I left was the day that Brazil got knocked out of the World Cup in that one. No, I know. But honestly, I've never felt more kindred with Brazil than that evening, because that's exactly how I feel when something like that happens. That it's just like, it was just like, okay, I get it now. I understand without, because as an English, like Premier League and all the rest of it, football's everything in England. Like it really, everything revolves around football. And you don't really think, maybe, the Spanish league a little bit, maybe the Italian league, but it's not as ingrained in the culture as it is here. Like there's teams that play 10 or 15 levels lower than the Premier League that people still pay to watch.
Yeah.
But Brazil, I got it. I
think
okay.
The only countries that have this so deep rooted will be England, Brazil, and I have to say Argentina and Uruguay as well. No, really, Argentina and Uruguay.
With the Brazilians, you don't like Argentina because
we don't.
That's why I bonded.
They are as passionate about football as we are, and the Uruguayans as well. The Uruguayans, they won the first World Cup, and they won the World Cup in 1950 against Brazil inside Maracanã. They still talk about it.
So it's funny, so there was only the English fans. There weren't that many in Belo Horizonte. It's a long way to go. We didn't have that many tickets, but I mean there was a few of us, but there were a lot of Argentinians, and the Argentinians hate the English.
Yeah,
and it is a shame because I love Argentina. All the Argentinian people I've met, I love like great, like fiery, kind of exciting people, but like they really didn't like the English at all because of the history we have. But the Brazilians, when they started on us, they went, no. You leave our English friends alone. You come with us. So yeah, it was. I was very grateful at times for the Brazilian fans in Belo Horizonte. It was. Yeah.
When everything goes back to normal, you need to come and watch one of the, like, it's not because only it's my team, but it's one of the greatest crowd that is Corinthians. Just for you to know, 2012, Corinthians was the world champion. And then they flew so many people to Japan that I was watching the broadcast in the morning here in Brazil, and I could hear like it was a hometown game. That's how crazy.
So I went to a game in Sao Paulo last year.
Uh-huh.
Who would I have gone have seen?
Was it Corinthians? No.
I can't remember. I think it might have been Corinthians. I think I actually went. If you followed me on Instagram, you would have seen. But I was definitely there. I was in Sao Paulo at a game, and it was. Yeah, I'm fairly sure it's Corinthians.
Oh, cool.
I'll find out for you. Again, I'll see if I can find a photo of that one for you.
So now let's talk a little bit about important stuff. We had fun already. Barista and producer. How can we make their life better? Not being
First of all, by staying at home.
Ideas. What?
Yeah, staying at home and making sure that we stop the spread of this thing as quickly as we can. I think, we've all got to follow the advice of our local governments.
No.
I get frustrated.
Not our local government, no.
Well, I get frustrated when I see people, like going against what, staying at home and protecting yourself and social distancing. So, I mean, that's the obvious ones. What can we do? Well, people are still drinking coffee. People haven't just suddenly gone, oh, well, my local cafe is not open, I'm not going to drink coffee. They're just not drinking good coffee. So making sure you support local roasteries, making sure as soon as cafes open, like we've been so blessed in the UK with our, and I'm not aligned with our current government at all. But what they did was they said, okay, send all your people home, we'll pay 80% of their wages. It was huge. Like it was, oh my God, thankfully I don't have to let people go. And when we come out the other side, hopefully we'll be able to pick this up and run. Now, the longer it goes on, the harder that gets. But what it did do was buy us all some time to go, okay, what can we do?
There's no limit. Like, doesn't matter if it's just a higher position or a lower position, it will be 80%.
Yeah, there was a limit to £2,500, which is about $3,500 a month. So any more than that, then that was the cap. But if you were below that, you would get 80% of your salary paid by the government, and you wouldn't have to go to work. You could stay at home, and you still get holidays and things like that. So, and you carry on having a job, which is what that's the most important thing. Is we want to have the right people in place when we come out the other side to open up and hopefully start selling coffee to people that want to, and and give people employment and be able to buy great coffees from producers. So I think supporting your local roasteries that are either open or selling online, but I think the big work comes when we open is not to be scared of. We're going to change the way that we interact with each other. We're never going to be the same again. I'm like, this week's quite particular with WBC not being on. He's like, how many hugs do you have during a WBC? And I think we're all going to be a little bit different the way we interact. But when the guidelines are that we can go out and we can go to coffee shops again, we have to have the confidence to have distance but still enjoy the experience and not kind of stay at home and be scared of these things, because hopefully the right advice has come through that we're allowed to do that safely. But it's so difficult. It's like that question I've been asking myself every night for the last 6 weeks. Is like, how can we protect producers, and how can we protect our baristas? The bits in the middle, we're going to be fine. We're going to be okay. Like I'm lucky enough that I've got some savings, and my salary's been reduced to 80%, and I've had to take that as well. But I'm still working. I'm still doing what I can, communicating with producers and lots of video calls like this. But I'm going to be okay. It's the baristas and the producers that are, they don't necessarily have savings. They're their
Yeah,
economies already weren't great, and this is just devastating.
I'm always worried.
So if I knew the answer, I would share it with the world, I promise.
Yeah, no, I'm always worried. Like the thing is, I'm always worried the producer. Like I think we are always talking about it. Again, I feel a little bit less worry about the producers when I put in a scale against the barista, because worst case scenario they're going to sell their land, right? What a barista can do.
Yeah,
Have a land.
yeah, no, it is. It's everybody's got used to living in a certain way, and
Yeah.
I think what this is a hard reset, that we are all going to live in different ways. Your quality of life, my quality of life, the baristas, the producers, it's all going to change.
Yeah.
Like everything is going to be different after this. Maybe some for the better. I've noticed that we're all being kinder to each other, and we're all
Yeah.
being nicer. Like I've been having people reach out to me. I have this thing that every night I pick up my phone and I text somebody that I haven't reached out to for a while, just to say, hi, how you doing? I would never have done that before. Well, maybe that's 6 weeks of isolation. That's that way. But like, we are being kinder and nice. And I really hope that that's something we take away from this, that we carry on. I see people walking up and down my road, taking their daily exercise, because we're allowed to go out for like an hour a day to exercise. I've never had so many hellos. How are you? Just acknowledging. Normally it's head down, straight on, but actually everybody's taking a bit of time to be concerned for other people. So yeah, I hope that stays. I hope we get out of the other stuff really quickly.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that we can figure out a way of living in a better way, wasting less stuff as well, paying attention in what is important and not what's superficial. I think that'll be the case as well for coffee shops, producers, roasters, and the whole world in general.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think, yeah, we need to find. It's not about getting back to normal. It's about finding out what the new normal is, like, and getting there as quickly as possible. And as as animals, humans are very good at adapting.
Yes.
Very good at changing to suit what challenges put in front of them. And this has happened before. This is not new. We've had pandemics before. We've had global pandemics before. Luckily, we have science and technology now that will hopefully help us come out quicker than we've been able to in the past.
I'm super for science. I'm a science guy, and I'm pretty sure and confident that something will come up faster than any other disease that we ever face.
Agreed. I think just because it impacts so many people, and even if it doesn't impact you, I'm confident I haven't had COVID, because I spent 3 weeks in Central America where it wasn't, and then came back and was in isolation straight away. So so it hasn't impacted me, but it has impacted me. It's changed a lot of my life. It's it's impacted in the the isolation thing. It's tough. Like I'm living on my own for into the 6th week. And this is my interaction. Me and Joanna have date night on a Friday night, where this is our date night with a glass of wine, and we choose the playlist. It's just a little different. That's all. But that's tough, but nowhere near as tough as other people. When I start to kind of feel sorry for myself, I'm kind of like, wow, you really need to get this in some kind of perspective, Steve. Like, you're drinking a lovely wine, chatting to somebody through fantastic technology, and you're fit and well and healthy. I really haven't got a lot to complain about.
Yeah, and I think that that's a great point. Sometimes people are being a little bit selfish in a way that, I don't know anyone that is sick. I don't know. I didn't get sick. Therefore, why should I change the way I'm living? And it's not about that. Like, we need to pay attention in other people and how they're struggling. Like, I know I'm fortunate enough that Marta, her family has like 3 doctors actually. So I know the struggling in the hospitals, for example, and how hard it is to be in the front line. We need to think about other people that are losing their jobs, people that have just like minimum income, and how can we do this everything together to flat this curve, make it faster to go away. So that's when I tell people, like, I didn't get sick. I was in Japan. I came here. I went to Canada. I didn't get sick, but I'm not going to risk my life, and I'm not going to risk other people's life, because I can get non-symptomatic COVID and pass it along. I'm not doing that.
Do you know, there was a period of time in Wuhan where they didn't think anybody was passing it around either. You know, that's the thing, is you're not symptomatic straight away, and that's why we've got to stay at home. You know, that's why we've got to follow these rules, and also, you know, make sure that our hospitals can cope, and, you know, think about other people that, you know, all it takes, you know, is a meter's distance and somebody breathing on you. That you know, we shouldn't be taking those risks. Not to, you know, go meet a friend or go sit in a park or whatever. Like, that's not a risk worth taking for that. So, no, I want this over as quickly as possible, and it's only over quickly if we all follow the instructions.
You know that all the people in the industry that are my friends know that I'm a hugger.
Yeah, you are.
Big hugger. So, like, one of the best memories that I have from you is, like, you were all in the suit, semifinals and so, and then you were talking with a bunch of, like, people, serious people, and they're like, can you excuse me a second? And then you just jump it on me.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. So that's like, I'm suffering, but I'm gonna get through this. No hugging. And later on, we figured it out a way. Even if I have to wear a hazard suit, I need to hug.
I mean, that's such a trait of, like, you know, particularly barista competitions. And, you know, when you go to any convention and you see people and you haven't seen them for ages, you know, barista hugs are a real thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it is strange. It's very strange that you know, I haven't shook anybody's hand for 6 weeks. You know, there's little things like that. I haven't been within 2 meters of somebody for 6 weeks. You know, my best friend is at the local supermarket, who I talk to once every few days. I go and she's like, "How you doing? Are you okay?" So yeah, no, it's strange times.
My dog is suffering a lot because I'm hugging her all the time and shaking her hand, her little paw. How are you?
Yeah, unfortunately, my cat's in Sweden, so I don't get to see my cat even.
Not even.
Yeah. Huh?
Not even the cat.
No, not even the cat. Maybe I just took my World Cup.
So now we're gonna do the game that I'm gonna give you 2 options.
Yeah.
And you're gonna choose one, but remember the other one, it will cease to exist.
Cease to exist. Okay.
Yeah. As soon as you pick one, the other will cease to exist.
Okay. As long as I'm not getting rid of any people, that's fine.
Oh, you will. Sorry, buddy.
Alejandro.
Football or coffee? I mean, right?
That's the toughest. Like that's going in hard at the start, because it's my only escape from coffee, but I'm going to have to say football goes. Like, I don't know that many footballers. I know a lot of people in coffee, and I don't want to lose them. So it's mainly because of the people. If I was friends with the whole Sunderland squad, it might be a different story. But
okay.
And to be fair, coffee's given me a lot more joy than football has. Coffee tends to just give me pain.
Well, you're a Sunderland fan, so.
There's a great line in Sunderland Till I Die that says, being a Sunderland fan is like being in an abusive relationship. You know you should get out, but you can't. You know, it's just like, yeah. I know that's not very PC, but that wasn't my words. That was somebody else. I was just like, yeah, they caused me a lot of pain.
Beer or wine?
Wine. Wine stays, beer goes. And I love beer. I'm a real big craft beer fan, but I've really got into my wines in the last 2 years.
Yeah. Well,
really.
I know you for a while, and you used to be more a beer guy, and the past couple of years, you've been like a wine.
That's Joanna's influence.
I think that's Joanna.
Yeah. And a positive influence, I think, as well. No, I really do enjoy wine. I go out of my way to have good wine, and but then I will with beer as well. But I could live without beer. I couldn't live without wine.
So you said that you're gonna have to choose between people now.
Okay.
Dale Harris or Jan Rugolo.
Oh, that's mean.
I am. I'm sick.
So, for those who don't know the context, Jen is she's been part of WCE. She now works for SCA. She used to run Tamper Tantrum. She used to work for me and Colin at 3FE back in the day. I've known Dale a little bit longer, but we've worked together solidly for that. I think it's been 11 years now.
Yeah.
And Jen's probably been 10. So, sorry, Dale. I'm choosing Jen.
Dale.
Jen's a much better hugger.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Dale's all awkward when he hugs.
He is. He's very, very English.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm dying to have both of them. That's one of the shows that I want to do with the two of them at the same time.
I would definitely watch that.
Sweden or UK?
Oh, that's easy. I'd go to Sweden in a heartbeat. I mean, and not because I'm disrespectful to my home country. I think you get used to what you're used to, but Sweden is a very different place and a very different culture, and very beautiful. Like, you can have screaming hot summers and then go skiing in the winter. You know, like the days can be an hour of light a day, and then you can have 24 hours sunlight. You know, like, it's just so extremes that, and also the whole Brexit thing has kind of disappointed me a little bit about my home country. In a time where we should be working together more closely, I'm a little bit disappointed at the whole Brexit decision. I respect it, and you know, we have to do it, but no, I think Sweden would win that one. That's not so tough.
And last but not least, fish and chips or barbecue?
Do you know, like, fish and chips, I'd probably have once a year, whereas barbecue, I would have a lot. You know, like, I really. So I'm just going to go on sheer volume. That I enjoy fish and chips as a treat every now and again, but I'm going to say they can go, and I'll keep barbecue.
Not very.
Because barbecue then also covers Korean barbecue,
yes,
normal barbecue. You know, like, there's so many more things in there that.
Fish and chips,
radizio, all of that. So I'm gonna go keep the barbecue.
Well, my last question for you is: if it wasn't coffee, what have you been doing with your life right now?
If I hadn't took the leap into coffee, I'd probably still have been a prison officer. You know, I didn't enjoy that job very much, and I wasn't very good. But if we're going to say I would have left and done something else, I guess I would have. I would have liked to have done something with food. Like, I'm not a very good chef. I do cook what I like, but I'm confident I could probably get better at it. And I'm interested in flavour, so it definitely has to be something flavour driven. You know, like, the dream is I have a vineyard somewhere and I make my own natural wines, and that's just craziness. But I think it would be something to do with flavour and taste and food and drink. That's why I'm so obsessed with coffee, is that it constantly amazes me how complex it can be. And I've yet to find anything that gives me that range of experience that, you know, you just don't get with any other product. So it would something flavour based is the best I'm going to give you. Flavour, taste, beverage, food based.
Cool. So now it's merchant time. If you want to follow Stephen, please subscribe to his channel on YouTube, In My Mug.
This week's is great as well. So, because It's now called Steve Leighton, because we've got a little animated Steve doing it instead of me. Because it's a bit boring watching me in my dining room, kind of like, so we've made it a little bit more fun. And this week I've got an interview with one of the producers from Bolivia that was this week's subscription. And I'm really quite proud of this week's one. So yeah, go and watch the Vincent Payet one on, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on, it's anywhere we can put it.
Follow as well the social media, has been, please.
Has been Steve. I don't post so much anymore though, so probably has been probably the best one to follow.
Even though like follow has been as well on the
Has been Steve is my personal one, and I'm also in charge of the Drop Twitter account. So Drop Coffee on Twitter. Joanna doesn't like Twitter very much, so I'm in charge of that, and nobody talks to me very often on there. So feel free to DM me on there and ask me anything you want.
Yeah, that's amazing, my friend. Always a pleasure. Can't wait to see you again. And I will try to respect the distance, but I'm probably gonna hug you, and we're gonna.
That's fine.
A clean, like a alcohol, Purell, whatever, shower after that. But it's always a pleasure to talking to you. I hope that people enjoy this. If they don't, we did. So who cares?
Exactly, we had a blast. And that's what I think these things should be. Like, you just have a blast, and if somebody wants to watch our conversation, they can. But it's nice when you come on a podcast and people make an effort, isn't it? You know?
You see? That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Class.
Yeah, build a class.
No, I really enjoyed it, my friend, and just to everybody, if you're still with us, why? But like, keep safe, keep well and healthy, and like corny as it is, I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody the other side of this. I really miss all of my coffee friends, and we'll see each other soon.
I hope I can see you before October or November, before the World of Coffee events.
I hope so too.
Take care, my friend.
You too, my friend.
Bye.
Bye.
See, that was our show. I'm feeling way better now, especially because now I learned that Stephen prefers Jan over Dale and coffee over football, which is something that I never thought that he was going to say that. And now I can take it out. This suit, go back to my pajamas, and do nothing for the rest of the day. I will edit this maybe next week. I don't know. I just know that I'm not gonna push myself, and whenever I feel need to talk to a friend of mine, just give them a call. Guys, be safe, wash your hands, stay at home, and if you want me to interview someone, or if you want to be part of this show, please leave a comment, send me a text on Instagram or Facebook. To the next one. Roll the credits.